Hey everybody, it's Paul here from Blossom. Just out enjoying a beautiful day at Niagara on the river. Today is my second day officially unemployed. Monday was my last day at work. Anyways guys, today is distribution day. This is where I discuss my weekly pairs that get paid on Friday from Yieldmax, Defiance, and from Roundhill. Also Friday is when I get paid from Group A, which is TSLY. Anyways guys, first of all, just a quick disclaimer. As everybody knows, I'm not a financial planner. This is not financial advice. I'm just sharing how I grew my portfolio to just over $400,000 and how I've managed to reach about $10,000 a month in dividends. Okay guys, so also the other thing is, as I said, I'm from Blossom. I'm a member of Blossom. I do subscribe to the Pro membership, but there is a free membership, which I will link in the description below and put it in the first comment for anybody who wants to join Blossom. It's a fantastic app. There's a lot of great information and people that you can connect with. All right guys, so this week, Yieldmax, I finally got up to 1,000 shares. Unfortunately, they came out with a very disappointing 10-cent payment, which will just over 10 cents, which will give me $109.40 US. YMAG, I still have 300 shares. Unfortunately, they were just over 8 cents. So I am going to sell another 50 shares. I said I will sell 50 shares of YMAG every time the payment dips below 10 cents because I haven't really been happy with its performance. So I think it's time to sell it off bit by bit and move on to something else. ULTY, I still have 1,450 shares. Once I sell YMAG, I'll buy another 50 shares of ULTY and bring that up to 1,500 shares. For this week, ULTY did pretty well with another 9-cent payment, and that will give me 136 US dollars. TSLY, I still have 245 shares. I am down quite a bit on this position because I started buying it way back when it was, I think, around $18 or $19 a share. But now it's down around just over $7. It does seem to have stabilized a bit, but it's not really going up too quickly. And anyways, guys, the dividend for this week the distribution this week is just over 39 cents, which will give me $96 US. Now, I still have a couple of positions with Defiance. Initially, they started out paying really high distributions, but unfortunately, the share price tanked really badly. So I guess, I don't know if you want to call it NAV erosion or share price erosion, but it definitely went down fast. So I have currently 92 shares of WDTE, which originally they called JEPI, but they had to change the name. And it's paying just over 18 cents this week. Not a very good payment, down from, I believe, just over 20 cents last week. So I'm gonna get only $17.31. And QQQY, I only have 24 cents. They did do a reverse split. I used to have more shares, but now I only have 24 shares. It also is only paying just over 18 cents, which is not great. Gives me only $4.53. I think with these two, they've shown that they've kind of stabilized and the distributions are fairly consistent. So I'm really debating on whether I should add some shares or should I sell one of them off and only keep one, maybe sell off my QQQY, put the money into WDTE, and then maybe build up that position a little bit more until I get to about 200 shares. So I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with Defiance, but for now, that's what I have. And the big absolute winner for this week, smashed it out of the park, fantastic, is QDTE, up quite a bit from last week with a payment of just over 28 cents. So I have 295 shares, and that will give me $82.60. So I totaled it all up. I converted it to Canadian because I am Canadian, and that will give me $642 for this Friday. Now, not very good compared to last week. I think last week I was in around about $740, so down quite a bit since then. So not really happy with these guys. And I think the big point is, guys, if you're starting out a portfolio and you're new, be very careful with some of these Yieldmax ETFs, even the Defiance ones, I guess, have stabilized a bit. So maybe if you're buying them now, you're okay. I guess if you're buying YMAX for the first time, it's not too bad because your average price will be just over $13. Maybe you can catch it just under $13. I bought it when it was a little bit higher, but just know the risk, guys. You have to realize that you could buy these ETFs and you could see the share price drop. Okay, and once it drops, it may not recover as fast as you think it's going to recover. So definitely build yourself a base, build a foundation, make sure you're picking up ETFs like SPY-I, T-SPY. You could even go with SPY-T if you want. There's a whole bunch. I know there's lots of other ones that I don't personally own, but there's a few other ETF providers that seem to be doing really well at the moment. And if you're Canadian and you're young and you're just starting out, or not even if you're young, but if you're in your 40s, maybe early 50s, and you're switching to an income portfolio, don't think that because myself and Perry and a few others have a bunch of these US ETFs that you have to try and get them as well, right? We started buying them in 2023, 2024 when they were pretty hot. They were paying out really well. We were making good money, and now they've since dropped a fair amount. I noticed in 2025 it came down quite a bit, and so now as a result the distributions aren't as good. But for some people who have held them a long time, they've already paid off their initial investment, so they don't mind holding on to them and just collecting the distributions monthly. And of course, Yieldmax keeps coming out with new ones, so if you can pick the right one, then you might get on the next sort of like bandwagon of hot stock and getting those high monthly distributions. But it's hard to say which one's going to be hot and which one's going to drop, right? So especially for Canadians, I would say take a look at some of the new ETFs that have come out from Harvest. You have HHIS is doing great. MST's down a little bit right now, but still has a fantastic distribution. Now they have HHIC. You can get the Canadian version, and they keep coming out with more. They came out with the Shopify one, which is paying really well. On top of that, guys, I really love Hamilton. Just came out with Q Day, S Day, C Day. So there's lots of options to make good money. You can get bi-weekly payments, you can get monthly payments, and you can reinvest those. You can also go back to some of the the originals. You got HDIV, you have HYLD. I still hold a lot of ENCL. I think it's fantastic. Oh, speaking of which, guys, today is payday for YTSL. I've done a couple of posts on Blossom about how it's a hidden gem, and I know there are a lot of people who hold a lot of YTSL. I'm getting about $780 today. On top of that, today I'm getting my SPY-T, I'm getting my QQQ, ETHY is paying out today. So there's a lot of great funds, guys. Just keep doing your research, keep watching videos, follow along on Blossom. You're gonna find the ETFs that work for you. And I think a mixture and a balance is best. Don't just go for all the high yield ones. Pick up some of the lower yield ones, some of the ones that cover the indexes like the S&P 500 will be more consistent and less volatility. All right, guys, anyways, that's it for today. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.